Hello, 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 hello. We are back at it once again with another episode of What It Took. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being you. Thanks for being here. And thanks to Playground Insults for being our guest today. I'm really excited to feature and to chat and just kind of mix and mingle with this band. They've been on my radar for a little while, and I'm glad to finally have them here at Music Landria and at Warm Robot Studios and on our live stream series, What It Took. I don't know what interview number this is, but I've definitely been having fun with these. So without further ado, maybe we can just have the band go around and introduce themselves. I'll let y'all popcorn style it.
Okay, I'm Luca, and I play the drums.
Luca.
I'm Christian. I play bass and I sing.
And I'm Brandon, and I play guitar.
Cool. All right, awesome. How long have y'all been a band?
I think it's been about 2 years,
about 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
I think we formed late 2018.
That's probably when we formed. Late 2018, early 2019. That's about the time.
Around that time.
Yeah.
Does it feel like 2 long years or 2 short years?
2 long years, definitely.
Really
Yeah.
short. I don't know. That felt really short.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Luca hasn't been here as long.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon's been with the band longer than I have.
Awesome. How did y'all meet?
So, how the band started originally. I was just in school being Christian, doing as I do. And I made a friend. His name is Richard.
Lucky.
And it was pretty cool. He was really into music, and we had a ukulele class together. So, it was pretty fun. So I went out and bought a ukulele, and I thought that was pretty fun. And he was like, "Oh, I have this band that you should join, and we need a bass player. Do you think you could play bass for us?" I was like, "Sure. I could definitely try to get one of those." So I went home that day. And I asked my dad if he had a bass laying around, because he has, guitars sitting around his house because he's a guitar player. And he had a bass in the closet. It was my uncle's when he used to play. So I picked that up, and I held it, and I was like, wow, this thing is huge. And I came back to school the next day, and I was like, hey, I have a bass. I can join the band, and that's how I joined the band. The band originally consisted of Richard, he was on drums, and Jesse, and he was on vocals.
Oh, wow. Okay, so a lot of change.
Yeah.
Yes.
So wait, who's the original member here?
Christian is.
Christian, yeah.
And we got Brandon somewhere down the line. That was pretty early, too.
Yeah.
Brandon, definitely tell them how we found you, because I think that's a pretty interesting story.
Yeah, so I used to have like an old band. We used to do like covers, AC/DC, Black Sabbath covers, until we eventually like disbanded because like school and stuff, and nobody had the time. And obviously I was more into like music and stuff, so I wanted to join another band. So I think my dad, he put like an ad on Craigslist or something, and Christian was like one of the first people who responded.
Cool.
And so like I remember Christian texted me and he was like, hey, you want to join us for our first band practice somewhere? So he told me the address, and I went to the first band practice. And that's when we had Richard, Jesse, and obviously Christian. And so we used to do like Green Day covers and stuff too, like back in our early days, like early 2019, which is when I joined.
Awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
What was that band called? The other band?
We didn't have a name, actually. We were just kind of a cover band at the time.
Cool. All right. Well, neat. Yeah, it's funny how those journeys just sort of happen, right? And like it's funny to see like where you end up and how bands change and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Luca, what do you think?
So Christian and I we're in a Boy Scout troop, right? And so Christian comes up to me one day, and he's like, "I'm in a band. How would you like to play drums for our band?" And I had no idea how to play drums. I had never played drums before. And so I just went over to his house and just kind of started playing drums. and I eventually took some drum lessons, and then that was it. I was just in the band,
Yeah, you just
even though I didn't know how to play drums.
you just kind of joined. Brandon and I were there. You showed
Mhm.
up, and then we started teaching you our songs.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So you already had songs. How many? How'd that happen? And how many songs did you have when Luca joined?
I believe we had 3 songs. We had Left on Strings, Seek, and J.O.'s. And it was just...
And you had
Ver-
zoo toxins too.
In Varentia.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that is correct.
It's a lot.
So those songs came to be... Left on Strings was our first song. I'm pretty sure we made that song our first practice, or we started working on it. As soon
Mhm.
as Brandon showed up, he came up with some riffs. I came up with the bass line, and it just came to be.
Neat. Cool. What's the songwriting process like for you three as a band now? So yeah, it sounds like you had some like you had some ideas kind of before all of the members, the current members were involved. So what's the songwriting process like now? How does that work? Yeah, like what does it take for you as a band to create music together?
Well, usually I'll come in and I would have made up something like maybe a couple months back, maybe a couple week, maybe the next day, and I'll just show Brandon the riff. He'll learn it, almost instantly, and then Luca will hop on the drums and jam out to it, and then it might become a song, it might not, but we start doing some composing, whatever feels right, and we sit down and we write the lyrics, all 3 of us.
Oh, that's cool. Wow, yeah, I don't hear that very often, like collaborative band lyric writing. Could y'all talk a little bit more about that? I'm really curious.
Yeah.
So normally, we all sit together like on that couch and stuff, and normally Christian will like be like, okay, so what are we gonna make this song about, right? So I'm like, okay, so we start brainstorming ideas. We normally a lot of our songs are actually theme based so far, and we like just come up with like a bunch of we come up with the first line. We see if that's good. I always Christian mainly comes up with the lyrics, and I always make sure to check them, see if they like sound good and stuff like that, and like if they rhyme and stuff. And we just go down the line. Luca helps. It works pretty well because like we just work off of each other. Like we find something that sounds correct, and if I have like another idea like that could work off of that next line, then I just throw it in there. And then same with Luca. Luca also helps do that sometimes.
Cool. Yeah, neat. So it's like kind of one person maybe comes up with a draft or something, and then like you'll edit them or stuff like that. Am I hearing that right?
Usually.
Do you ever like edit the entire song? Or you're just like, I'm gonna take out every single word and replace them all for a banana.
Oh yeah, that happened
that's
with
happened
Left on
twice.
Strings.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that happened twice with Left on Strings and the when we used to call it the chicken nugget song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm really inspired by that, like more collaborative lyric writing. Like I said, I don't hear about a lot of projects doing that, so I think it's really cool that you take that approach. Do you notice that when you kind of collaboratively write lyrics, is it hard to make the song sort of cohesive, or how does that pan out?
I think it's easier to make it cohesive because everybody's putting in stuff. So if there's something that doesn't work, it just instantly is taken away and put in with something that works.
Yeah, neat. What kind of so as a drummer, is it trippy writing lyrics, or what is that like?
Well, no, because I also sing. I don't think I'm a very good singer, but Christian forces me to sing here. So yeah, it's not that big of a deal writing lyrics with Christian and Brandon.
Is it hard, like singing words that someone else wrote?
Christian somehow figures out these like weird ways to fit the words into the song. So sometimes that's a little bit weird, but other than that, it's pretty easy.
What about like in terms of content or whatever? Has anyone ever gotten to the point where it's like, ooh, I feel weird saying that, or I don't agree with that, or
No, I don't think so, because
Well-
everyone's adding to the song, so it's you're
Yeah.
singing some of your own stuff too. So
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's sometimes we'll come up with a lyric and I'll be like, oh, you know, it'd be funny if we added in blah blah blah, and we start laughing, but we just kind of just play it off as a joke, because if we were to say that, you know,
it wouldn't go well.
it wouldn't go
It wouldn't
well.
go well.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, so it sounds like the songs will often start with like a guitar riff or a bass riff,
Yeah.
and then you'll teach it, you'll learn the bass part, and then you'll jam on it all together as a whole.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and usually songs generally take as long as 3 or 4 months to be fully complete.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'll say they're complete, but we're slowly working on them until they're perfect.
What is it? So yeah, maybe y'all could chat a little bit more about that process. So like once you have like the idea of a song, what happens next?
So we usually just jam out the song, and then when we get how many times we play the verse, how many times we play the chorus,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll come up with the lyrics. And usually I will go home and I will type up the lyrics, and I will finalize them and print them out. So those will be the final lyrics, and then over time, maybe we think that this verse is too long or this bridge is too long. We'll just kind of cut it there. And on Zootoxins, originally there was no guitar part when there was just bass and drums and some vocals, but Brandon figured out some cool feedback sounds that he's doing with his whammy bar,
Awesome.
and that came to be. So yeah, it's we try to get the songs as best as possible before we eventually record them.
Yeah, and another thing, when with one of our newer songs, we've even had to like map it out, because like it's just a single chord progression, but there's like a lot of different elements like that go along, cause in that one song, like it starts with just the bass, the drums cut in, the vocals cut in, the guitar part comes in, and there's like 2 different guitar parts for that song, but it's just one chord progression, so we had to like map it out for that just one single song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like the feel of that song because I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh man, this composition's weird. I just knew it was like this was like the first time we've ever done this, where
Yeah.
we've actually sat down and written out how long the parts are going to be. And we did that with separate sheets of paper.
Mhm.
It was like guitar, bass, drums, and we used the little lines on the paper as makeshift measures.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Neat. As a drummer, what's it like composing a song, right? It sounds like often they'll start with a guitar and a bass part, but as a drummer, what's that like?
Well, I also play guitar and bass, just not for the band.
Okay.
So I actually wrote the song we were just talking about. I wrote the bass line for that.
Nice.
So yeah, that's my song. So
We call it the Lucas song.
it's a Lucas song for now.
Okay, super neat. Yeah, so it sounds like you've got some well-rounded kind of musical background that allows you to understand song structure, and probably helps figure out like what kind of drum part to put on a track or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's interesting to think about. Like a drummer in a band is really, I don't know, I could talk about that for forever, but I won't. I will continue to ask questions of you so I can learn more about your process and stuff. So I'm really curious, like what's the hardest part about either being in a band or writing music for all of you?
Well, I think the hardest part about it all is just, having the motivation to sit down and it's like, okay, today I'm going to work on lyrics. Today I'm going to practice our songs, and just continuously do that on a weeks on end,
Yeah.
and for years to go.
Yeah.
That's
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's all fun. We have a lot of fun doing it, but sometimes it can get rough around the edges, as it's sometimes songs are hard to write, and we just gotta figure it out and get it worked out.
Another hard part for especially for me, like is having to balance school, like other responsibilities around the house, and play like guitar and be in a band. And sometimes it can be stressful, but I really enjoy being in PGI, and I have the motivation to want to continue pretty much being in the band for as long as I possibly can. So I think I've got the motivation to do it. So yeah, that's not something that not a lot of people have.
Yeah, it's also sort of physically draining because when we have
Mhm.
practice, we go through our set like 2 or 3, sometimes 4 times. And so by the end, it's like just really super tired and just want to lay down and fall asleep.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever fallen asleep during a band practice?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Luca has.
Yeah,
I
Luca
fell
has
asleep once.
literally at our last practice. I think he fell asleep for like a little bit.
Yeah, that poor guy needs some time to rest. He does a lot of work behind the tubs.
Mhm.
Yeah, drumming can be tiring for sure. What's the hardest thing about songwriting?
Hmm.
Probably coming up with good lyrics.
Oh, and just generally coming up with a good riff. It takes, at least 12 bad riffs to come up with a good one.
Mhm.
It just takes time, to just find something good and then go with it.
Mhm.
It's almost random when good stuff comes up.
Do you find that most of the songs that you end up liking the most are the result of just kind of jamming together or writing stuff in advance?
We usually write stuff in advance.
Yeah.
And those become final songs.
Mhm.
So do you ever jam together and just kind of have tracks kind of
Yeah.
happen? Yeah.
That's happened with Zoo Toxins.
Oh yeah.
And that just came together as it was. And
Mhm.
we definitely we're gonna do some more jamming, just original.
Mhm.
I mean, we do that a lot already, but we mainly just practice our set. And we
Yeah.
were jamming last practice, and we were trying to come up with a secret song, something really interesting that's maybe can be kind of hidden off the radar whenever
Mhm.
we put out some music here.
That's a fun idea. You heard it here first. There might be a secret track in the making. Who knows?
Oh yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, really, really, really interesting. All right, let's see. So what's your favorite part of being in a band? And what's it like being in a time where playing shows is kind of not a thing? What's that like for everyone in the band?
Well, my favorite part about being in a band is just being able to do what all my heroes are doing. It's just I get inspired a lot, and I'm able to actually, do everything myself in my own way, and that right there is just I think that's the best part about it, and I get to express myself creatively and get my visualization of of music in general just out there, whatever I want, and it's just it's magical.
I can totally resonate with that. Yeah. What about the other folks in the band?
Yeah. One of my favorite parts about being in the band is probably like you get to obviously make music to the people you've gotten to know like really well in the past, and we've had a lot of history together, and it's just really fun. Like even when we're not making music, we just hang out, go maybe to like the skate park with Luca, and sometimes we've just hanged out like just as friends too. So I mean, just having
great.
being like together is just really nice.
Sounds like you're all pretty close. So that's also pretty rare, I think, to find in bands is like people that not only enjoy making music together, but also enjoy just hanging out. I think it's really important to find a core group of people that you just have fun with.
Mhm.
So congrats on that. That's cool. Yeah. Any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I just kind of spend most of my time with Luca and Brandon.
Luca was almost about to answer, and that was really funny.
Almost about to answer, but Christian, finish what you were saying, and then I'll
Yeah, you know, we just play Minecraft together. It's kind of cool. We do some interesting things there. We're trying to get Brandon to get on Minecraft. Luca's
do it.
offering Brandon a free copy of Minecraft.
Whoa, there
so,
you go.
you know,
All right, yes. I think it's really cool being able to collaborate because I played in an orchestra for 5 years. I played the cello, and sometimes it gets a little bit boring having to play with what the teacher wants you to play. But being in a band and getting to play your own stuff, whatever you want to play, is really cool.
Yeah, epic. Do you miss playing a lot of the other instruments that you've engaged with?
Well, no, I still play them pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, instead of the cello, I play the bass now, and I play the guitar. So I pretty much still play all the instruments.
yeah, and I play drums, guitar too, and I definitely have a lot of fun behind Luca's drum set. I can spend like 2 hours a day on there, and Luca has no idea.
Yeah,
Just-
using my drum set without my permission. Wow.
Oh yeah, you know, it's just fun playing other instruments, and yeah, a lot more ideas can come out of that.
Have you ever, like, when it's okay to play live again, do you plan to do anything where it's like musical chairs where band members are jumping from instrument to instrument in between, like throughout a set? Have you thought about doing that? Right, like one song, Luca's playing drums, the next song, he's playing cello, one song, you know, you're just kind of jumping between instruments. Have you thought about doing that?
I think we thought about it once, like when Luca first created his song. Like we just thought about Luca playing bass for that song and Christian playing drums for that song.
Yeah, I was thinking of playing drums and singing at the same time
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
Yeah, neat.
We could probably still do that.
Yeah.
We just
Mhm.
need to practice it, and we could be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think another thing that's really important or something that I'm really inspired by in bands is when there's like a lot of diversity in the sonic palette, if you know what I mean, where it's like one track, you know, starts with maybe a bass guitar and drums, but then the second part includes some totally different instrument, right? And it
Mhm.
feels from song to song, it feels like a journey sonically, not only like melodically and in terms of the songwriting itself, but yeah, the palette of a song is like something that I think about a lot. So it's really fun to hear that there's like a lot of different instruments that are, you know, that are playable in this band amongst the band members. It's really fun to think about how, yeah, I mean, your sets could be really, really fun and dynamic and engaging, especially if yeah, because some of my favorite shows have been where a band, they do musical chairs, right? And they jump from instrument to instrument throughout their set. So have y'all seen a band do that ever?
Yeah, I definitely have. Most notably, the Beatles.
Yep.
You know, they hop around a lot, and yeah, I think that whole, you know, sonic, you
The
know,
palette,
musically,
yeah.
the palette. You know, I think I love that idea, and definitely it's something we try to do, but it's hard as a 3-piece. We have
Mhm.
Yeah.
bass, guitar, and drums, and
Right.
but I also love the idea of doing the most as we possibly can with that limitation of just 3 band members.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's what I love the most about being a 3-piece.
Yeah, that's fascinating too. So that kind of gets into the idea of like creative constraints, right? And like using not only the number of people in your band as a creative constraint, but I think that could also lead into a lot of other ideas. So yeah, beyond that, do you have any other creative constraints that you put on yourselves for this band?
Not necessarily. We don't limit ourselves to genres of music either.
Mhm.
Mhm.
We just come up with whatever sounds good. We will have songs that sound completely different from another.
Yeah.
Like you'll hear them and go, "Whoa, they wrote that too," you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
And I think that's just a fun thing to do.
Yeah. Honestly, I have no idea what genre we are. We just like write a heavy metal song. Next thing you know, we write like a slow, like chorusy, you know, dreamy kind of song.
Neat.
We just
Yeah.
hop around a lot.
Yeah.
So that could actually be another potential creative constraint, right? Like if you start thinking about like what your next album, your full-length album is going to be like one creative constraint could be every single song is going to be of a different genre, right? Like there can't be two songs on the album of the same genre or vibe or something, right? So I think about that a lot, and I'd be stoked if y'all did that actually.
Yeah. Something I've been getting into kind of recently is I've discovered that you can, stick a couple more frets on a guitar or bass, and then you can get those microtones.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
you can get
that's
some
fun.
Eastern vibes, and you can do a lot with that. So I definitely want to do something with that in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be a very interesting place to go in.
What are some experimental things you would want to do on the bass?
Definitely, first of all, most definitely want to get a microtonal bass. That would be very fun.
Yeah, epic.
And I just maybe I can get. I like. I'm kind of into noise music, just a little bit, and I think if I can get away of getting some pedals and making feedback, I can make some pretty interesting sounds with, my strings and my pickups here. But definitely pushing the limits of what's normal.
What about some guitar experiments or things that you'd want to try?
Yeah, I've been actually experimenting with like what Christian said earlier, like Eastern kind of style music. I've even created like, kind of like a scale. I don't even, yeah, but it's actually really fun for me to like kind of experiment with like that style of music, 'cause I mean you can just play it anywhere, and you can play with any song. It sounds good if you like know where to play it. And if I get like some kind of microtonal guitar, that would be like even better for me. So that would be really cool.
Yeah, fascinating. What about drums? You thinking about doing micro tunings on your drums?
Well, I was thinking of maybe like tuning the snare and one of the toms up higher, and then tuning the other tom and the floor tom down really low. So then, like during the verse or something, I could play higher, and then during the chorus, I can just play really low.
That's fun. Yeah, neat.
Imagine two snares tuned
Ooh,
differently.
two snares tuned differently.
That could be fun.
I love the double snare drum kit thing. I've seen some really amazing stuff happen with that. What about like alternative percussion stuff, like non-standard drums? Have you thought about that?
Sort of. We're thinking of maybe doing a song in a different time signature, like a really weird time signature, like 7/5 or something like that.
Cool.
Yeah, like get some 7/4, 5/4.
That's fun.
Switch it up.
You can put some additional frets on your cello, mount your cello next to your drum kit, and then bam. See what happens with
Cello with frets.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Throw some. Yeah. I guess.
Cello drums.
Yep. Just to make all the cello players really angry.
Oh yeah.
Cool. All right. Maybe we can jump to band interview band section real fast.
Alright.
I like to do a segment where I get out of the way for a second and inspire and encourage the band to interview themselves, just sort of popcorn style. And yeah, let's just see what happens.
All right. Well, I'll start off here, Luca.
Yes.
Something I'm curious about,
Uh-oh.
and I'm not even exactly sure how you do this, but how do you actually what is your process for coming up with the drums for our songs? Because I'll see you do it at practice, but when it's all done, I'm not exactly sure how that all got to be, and I want to know more about that.
Well, I actually play. Sometimes I've like no set way of playing some of the songs, so I just play it like differently every time, and then until I find something good, and when I find something good, I just stick with that.
Okay. All right. And have you ever thought? Do you ever want to get a second bass drum instead of just using single bass, but with the double kick pedal?
Maybe, I don't know. That seems kind of big. Too much stuff to
Yeah.
carry around.
What about 7 bass drums?
That might work. I think that might work.
Yeah. Just tune each one differently.
Yeah.
Tricky, huh? What kind of questions to ask the band?
Oh yeah, Christian. So I have a question for
All
you.
right.
What kind of in the past have you played like any unconventional instruments, like maybe like wind instruments, I guess, like as in the recorder.
Yes, I've played recorder. I've had a recorder class, and I have a recorder that I have up on my drawer, and I pull it out sometimes, and I'll just kind of do a little fun time on that. You know, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
The most unconventional thing I've ever played is probably recorder. I definitely want to.
Oh yeah.
I think I want to find some more instruments to play here. You know, you've got some instruments here that I can see. They look pretty interesting, so I might have to take advantage of this here.
And just for everyone watching, we are at Music Landwehr right now, so you can Google that.
Yes. And Brandon,
Yes.
what kind of guitars, like models, brands, what are all the guitars you would want in your arsenal?
All right. Well, obviously, I'm gonna have to go with the Gibson Flying V for my first one. That one's probably my favorite. I've been to Guitar Center a few times, and every time I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta play that. So I asked the Guitar Center dude, yo, pull that off the hanger for me so I can play it. And I just plug it in. I'm like, oh yeah, this is so good. Even though you can't really sit and play it, it just feels really good. And especially like if you're playing like a live show, it's one of those really good live instruments. Another one would also be the Explorer, which is, I mean, I really like Flying V's and Explorers, so those are just two of my favorite. I also really, I really like obviously the Fender Stratocaster and the Telecaster. Those are two really good ones, and just recently I've got EMGs on them.
Awesome.
New pickups, humbuckers, and they're pretty good. Maybe I'll even try to go for an SG at one point, maybe if like I had the money, you know.
Yeah, and Brandon, are you planning on learning any different instruments? Or are you just gonna stick with guitar the whole time?
I mean, I've played a couple different instruments, and like especially the recorder. I used to be legendary at the recorder. You know, they had like belts and stuff for like the kids who learn songs on the recorder. Like every song you learn, you get like a tassel. And
like karate.
yeah, and I had like all the tassels, even like the colorful rainbow tassels.
Yeah, I remember playing Mission Impossible on
Yeah.
recorder just in class.
Mm-hmm.
It was so funny.
Yeah. So I mean, I can play bass like
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
I can play bass, but I mean, I don't know if I can like create riffs on the bass just yet. If I like try to learn, you know, some more, that would be pretty I could probably create some more stuff with that.
All right, and if you were to choose between which instrument to really get into first, would it be drums or bass or anything else actually?
Probably bass, but if not bass or drums, I'd probably try to learn how to play like the saxophone or something. That would like add something, you know, kind of interesting to our music if we ever needed it.
Very jazzy, like
Yeah.
that.
Cool, yeah. Or great for feedback. Could be
Mhm.
amazing for
Ooh.
feedback vibes or textures. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely want to learn double bass.
Oh yeah.
That would be a very fun thing to do.
Sweet. All right, cool. Any other questions for the band interview band section?
Nothing in
I don't think
particular.
so.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, let's we're just about wrapping up on time stuff, so maybe we can just kind of finish up with any shout outs or kind of messages you each of you want to kind of share with the community or anyone watching. Yeah, let's dive into that real quick.
All right. Well, I think Luca or Brandon. What do you guys? Why should people listen to Playground Insults?
Oh, a self shout out. Okay.
Great.
I see.
Yes. Good question.
Probably because it is the song. Each song kind of sounds like different genres almost. So I
Mhm.
think that's kind of a reason to
Yeah.
listen.
And I would obviously have to say like our music is pretty much different, I would say, from like a lot of music. I mean, and we also like to like include a lot of old style of music. Like a lot of the times I like to add a bit of heavy metal from like 80s heavy metal influences in some of the songs too. Like it's just different, but it also like it has a lot of old influences in it, so it's really different from a lot of the stuff that comes out now, I guess.
Yeah, and I saw the Mars Butterfly. I
Oh,
saw them
yeah.
on here. I enjoyed their interview, and I think they're a great band. Luca and I saw them. They're very cool. I enjoy their stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty rad, right? Yeah, another really, really cool Sacramento band. So, yeah, y'all should connect. I mean, when it's okay to play shows again, I would definitely go to that show. Yeah, if y'all jumped on a bill together, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And a message I have to you all is to do what you need to do in your life to
Yeah.
make you happy.
Yeah,
Ooh, nice.
I dig it. We'll put that in the description. That'll be the quote at the top of this live stream.
All right.
Cool. All right. So, yeah, links to your band. How can people find you?
We're on YouTube. We have a Discord server. We're on Instagram too. Those are our 3 most used social platforms.
Great. Yeah, if folks want to reach out, send you a message, maybe even think about booking shows together or collaborate, they can, what's the best way? Message you on Instagram?
Yeah, you can go with that. Our email is theplaygroundinsults@gmail.com. So you can
Awesome.
also go with that.
Cool. All right, right on. Any last bits of info from the band? I'm getting blank faces.
Not really. Just thanks for having us. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Cool. Yeah, my pleasure, y'all. I really appreciated spending time with y'all, getting to know you a little bit better. And yeah, when things kind of clear up, I'd love to have y'all perform at the space here. Yeah, and do a live stream of the band. I think that's another thing we could definitely chat about doing. Yeah, as it becomes safer to kind of meet and to have people in the same space. Yeah, I want to make sure that we carve out time to connect with you again.
All right.
And yeah, with that, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Yeah, if you're in a local band and you would like to be featured on an episode of What It Took, send us a message. Again, you can contact us through our social media pages or our website, musiclandria.com. If you're unfamiliar with Musiclandria, we do a ton. We're all about building a music hub here in Sacramento. So we've got a library of musical instruments where you can borrow stuff for free. We've got a live stream studio, which you're kind of watching right now. We do live performances. We do interviews with local bands. We've got practice space if you're looking for that, and recording services. And we even have a new radio station called Sacramento Dirt that focuses 100% on Sacramento area bands. So PGI, we got to get you on there if we haven't yet. Did y'all know about that yet?
Oh, yeah. I knew
yeah.
about that.
Sweet.
We'll definitely show you some stuff once we get some studio grade quality,
Yeah.
music out there.
Cool. That would be awesome. We'd love to add you to the station
Yeah.
whenever y'all are ready, whenever you got tracks. You can drop off a CD here through our mail slot, or you can upload it on our website. There's a little tab on top for Musiclandria Radio,
All right.
and it's super easy to submit stuff that way.
Yeah, love what you guys are doing here. Very, very supporting of the music industry around here, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, our pleasure. It's super fun. All right, without further ado, have a great day, everyone. Have a great night. Have a great whatever it is, and stay awesome. And remember to do the things that you want to do to make yourself happy. All right.
Yeah.
Cheers, everyone. Till next time. Bye.